And now, Mike's thoughts.
With the signing of Russell Wilson to the New York Football Giants, the NFC East now has potentially 4 starting black quarterbacks. Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, and of course, Russell Wilson are all black Americans. African descent, if you want to call them, whatever. But the simple fact of the matter is 4 NFL players, starting quarterbacks, going to be all black in the NFC East. Now, when I first read this, I'm like, cool, whatever, it is what it is. But then I'm like, well, what does color have to do with anything? Why does this black and white thing always come up? The first black coach, the first black this, the first black that. Why? Why in 2025, March 26, 2025 at 9:02 East Coast time here in Louisville, Kentucky, are we still talking about somebody's color of their skin? Why are we out there talking about their heritage, their race, their religion? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Dak Prescott is an NFL quarterback. At the end of the day, Jalen Hurts is an NFL quarterback. At the end of the day, Russell Wilson is an NFL quarterback. We need to stop bringing race into every single conversation that we have, ESPN. We need to stop bringing in the color of the skin every time we bring up something that has happened, ESPN. Can we simply stop with this race baiting? Can we stop with this, he's black, he's white, he's yellow, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Let's just be honest, it doesn't matter. Every time you see it, it divides us that much more as a country. Every time you say is the black person this, white person that, whatever, it divides us more and more and more. I don't care that the NFC East has 4 starting quarterbacks that are black. I don't care that the
sauce, we about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it.
This is
Man Hour.
What?
Sport talk. Man Hour. Sport talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport talk. Man Hour. Sport talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go! What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour Show, to manhourradio.com, and check out the merchandise page. Guys, we got some hoodies out there. We got some t-shirts as well. Hoodie season is here, but hoodies will no longer be available as of April 14th. April 14th, we're about, 20 days away. Bada bing, bada boom. Hoodies are gone. They're gone. Until next year's hoodies come rolling around. But these current hoodies that we have, this is all we got. This is all we got moving forward. But guys, we do got a show lined up for you today. A great show lined up for you for today. It is Wednesday, Man Hour edition. So we got Cold Hard Facts Wednesday, but then we got to talk about Myles Garrett. We got to talk about the potential of Dak Prescott going to the Cleveland Browns, baby. What? Slow it down. We're going to talk about that. Stefon Diggs of the Patriots. What? And then Russell Wilson has officially signed with the New York Football Giants. What does this mean for them? Aaron Rodgers' free agency list is getting narrowed down to one team. And who had the best offseason? Who had the worst offseason? We will talk about that. We got the cold hard facts, over and under wins, and we got to end the show with a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap. Before we get too carried away, guys. Baby, we got to welcome some people into the chat. We got to welcome Old Man River, which is a pigskin pundit, into the chat. And he says, what do you say? He says, what up? No excitement. No, he's like, what up, man? Old Man River looks like a man that he just worked 15 hours a day, came home, sat on his recliner, popped his TV up, put on Man Hour and NFL Talk on his old TV there, and he's cracking out a Bud Light, and he's just sitting back and relaxing. He's sitting back, relaxing, having a grand old day. Man, Old Man River, I hope you are in today. I hope you've had a grand day. My man Alpha Rob is in the chat today as well. He says, what up, Buck? And yeah, I'm tired of hearing about the race nonstop too. Listen, like I am proud of everybody, right, in this world. Like I used to be bitter about this, and this. But as I've grown older, as I've grown wiser, as I've entered in the corporate world, exited the corporate world, and now going back into the corporate world, guys, let's everybody help everybody up. I don't care the color of your skin. I don't care if you're homeless. I don't care if you're rich. I don't care if you've got a flat tire. I don't care if you are driving a Tesla, right? It doesn't matter at the end of the day. We are all the same, and we're all fighting the same battles. Yes, my battle might be a little bit different than like yours. Yes, my battle might be changing my tire in my driveway this morning. Alpha Rob's battle might be, hey, I need to get a new pair of jeans, right? And Jim's battle might be, damn it, somebody stole my trailer again, right? But everybody's fighting a battle at the end of the day, and everybody love everybody, right? Everybody put a hand up, and if we all help each other up, we all get to the top, and we all get to where we want to go. Race has nothing to do with it, and we are tired of it. We're tired of it. Oh, speaking of Jim, pal.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Jim is the CEO of the Pigskin Pun, guys. Be like Jim and click on the membership tab below. Get you some free merch, get free entries into our giveaways. And he said the Cleveland Browns and the Cowboys, same old, same old. Listen, Jim, you can hate all you want. You can hate all you want. You can dog the Cleveland Browns. You can dog the Dallas Cowboys. You can dog them left and a little right. But the simple fact of the matter is, guys, that there are rumors flying around. There are inside sources coming out. My inside source from the Indianapolis Colts heard this from their inside source from the Cleveland Browns. I jump up on Twitter, and people are starting to talk about it too. But the rumors are from a very few good sources out there, some pretty damn good sources, right? Straight from the horse's mouth, saying that the reason why Myles Garrett was so willing to sign for the Cleveland Browns this season was because that Dak Prescott is coming to town. The reason that Myles Garrett signed that massive deal was because Dak Prescott was coming to town, and he had an opportunity to play with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Dak freaking Prescott. Guys, there has been a reason why the Cleveland Browns let Russell Wilson walk away without even a contract offer. There's a reason why the Browns have not been linked to the Aaron Rodgers rumors. But there has been reasons why Ryan Tannehill is not talking to the Cleveland Browns. There's a reason why Kenny Pickett is the only quarterback on the Cleveland Browns roster, and that is because the rumors are from sources, from very, very good sources, that the Cleveland Browns are very, very close of bringing Dak Prescott into town. This trade includes Newsome and then, of course, a few draft picks as well, including the number 2 overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Now, when I first heard this rumor, I'm not going to tell my source from the Indianapolis Colts, but when I first heard this rumor, I'm like, are you sure, bud? Because I know that Dak Prescott has a no trade clause. I know that Dak Prescott has to sign off on this deal. I know that Dak Prescott has a massive deal, and his contract will have to be reworked and restructured, and the can has to get kicked down the road to get under the cap in Cleveland and to limit the dead cap hit in Dallas. But he says, yes, man. I heard it from my equipment manager over there in Cleveland, which heard the owners talking today. I was like, whoa, slow it down, baby. Slow it down. So, guys, when we hear this, when we think about this, Dak Prescott potentially going to Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Browns potentially giving them Greg Newsome and the 2nd overall pick, and potentially some more draft picks on top of that, because it was draft picks plural. More than 1, more than 2, not a couple, draft picks. Guys, does this make sense on both sides? Does Dak Prescott going to Cleveland Browns make sense? Now, like I said, the current deal for Dak Prescott, which he is the highest paid quarterback in the NFL right now, clearly has to be reworked. The Cleveland Browns only have $20 million-ish in cap space, and the dead cap hit money on Dallas would be backbreaking, right? So obviously that deal would have to be reworked some way or the other. And honestly, Dak Prescott has already restructured his deal to bring in players from Dallas, or to Dallas, I should say. And the Dallas Cowboys, what do? They sign Turpin. They bring in Miles Sanders. But big splashes there, right? mean, honestly, if I'm Dak Prescott, I'm pissed off. If I'm Dak Prescott and I heard this rumor and this is a potential that this could happen, sign me up, baby. Sign me up and send me to Cleveland now. Yes, I understand the Cleveland Browns are far, far away from winning the Super Bowl. Yes, I understand the Cleveland Browns are in the AFC and they got the gauntlet in the, let's say, the Ravens and the Bills and the Chiefs, and you can throw in the Pittsburgh Steelers in there, and potentially the Bengals and the Miami Dolphins, right? It is a gauntlet over there. But at the same time, the Cleveland Browns were just a playoff team just 2 years ago. At the same time, they have arguably a top 10 running back in the NFL still in Nick Chubb, even though he's coming off that ACL injury. Arguably, they have a top defense in the NFL. Arguably, guys, the Cleveland Browns could potentially be a quarterback away. Is that quarterback Dak Prescott? I would say yes, because Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback. Dak Prescott has 3 seasons over 4,000 yards passing. In those 4,000 yards plus passing in those 3 seasons, he has 36 touchdowns, 27 touchdowns, and 30 touchdowns, right? And then he has 3 seasons over 3,000 yards passing. In those seasons, he has 23 touchdowns, 22 touchdowns, and 22 touchdowns. The only 2 times in his career where he has not broken 3,000 yards, he was pretty damn close in 2022 where he broke his leg in like week 7, week 6, right? And then last year, he just had 1,900 yards, and he only played, 5 games, right? Guys, Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback, so stop trying to tell me he's not a top 5 quarterback. Stats don't lie. Stats also tell me that he has never had a QBR below 86 on his season. His lowest QBR was last season was 86.1. With the historic bad defense. That Dallas Cowboys defense was terrible when Dak Prescott was playing. So 86 QBR with that bad defense, pretty damn good, baby. Let's not get it twisted. The Dak Prescott's only knocks are his, quote, early playoff exit. And a lot of those playoff exits were to do with the poor coaching. Dan Quinn, defensive mind himself, offensive head coach guru over there in like Washington. He shits the bed in the playoffs. His defensive schemes in the playoffs were terrible. Mike McCarthy, all of a sudden, you have a nice balanced attack, and now all of a sudden you're throwing 50, 60 times in a playoff game. Why are you doing that? But despite that, despite the historical bad coaching, despite the historical bad defense in those playoff games, he is still 2-5 in postseason play. And he averages 392 yards passing per game, along with 2 touchdowns every postseason game he has played. In 7 postseason games, he is 2-5. Guys, let me give you a list of active quarterbacks that have more than 2 playoff wins. Active quarterbacks as of right now. Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Matthew Stafford, Lamar Jackson, and Brock Purdy. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 quarterbacks currently on an NFL team has more than 2 playoff wins. So to tell me that Dak can't do it in the big game, there are 30 other quarterbacks in the league that can't do it either. Let's just be flat honest. There are 30 other quarterbacks out there that cannot do it. We hype up Baker Mayfield. We love us some Baker Mayfield. He has 1 playoff win. Jared Goff. We love us some Jared Goff. Jared Goff's awesome. He has 2 playoff wins. 3. Like, slow it down. Guys, if Dak Prescott gets traded to the Cleveland Browns, this makes everybody happy and everybody better. The Cleveland Browns get their quarterback. The Cleveland Browns are in a must-win now situation. You bring a top 5 quarterback like Dak Prescott into the mix into Cleveland, there are free agent wide receivers out there who would love to play with some Dak Prescott. Keenan Allen, ring a bell. Amari Cooper, ring a bell. Both of those guys come back to Cleveland, or Amari Cooper comes back to Cleveland. Keenan Allen goes to Cleveland. Bada bing, bada boom. That offense isn't too shabby. Yes, they're old, a little long in the tooth, but they're in a must-win now situation anyways. The Dallas Cowboys, you get the 2nd overall pick. You get Deion Sanders. You get Shedeur Sanders. You get your quarterback there that you wanted in Dallas all along. And we all thought that Shedeur Sanders was going to the Dallas Cowboys anyways, but then but everything started to hush down a little bit. Everything started to hush down a little bit, like, maybe not. Guys, this is a reality. This is a reality that could shape this could be a draft night trade, or it could happen in the matter of next 10, 15 minutes. Some pretty darn good sources out there are saying, yes, this is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm hearing, and this is what I'm telling you, Buck. And bada bing, bada boom, I've heard several other people say the same thing. Equipment managers can't keep their mouth shut. Let's just be honest. But hey, what do you guys think? Dak Prescott to the Cleveland Browns for Greg Newsome and draft picks, plural. Is this good for both teams? What do you guys think? Alpha Rob says Dak shouldn't want to be any part of the AFC. And honestly, Alpha Rob, if I am Dak Prescott, I have all this postseason pressure anyways, right? I can't get out of the first round anyways, air quotes. Why not go to at least a gauntlet of the AFC? Granted, the NFC is more balanced from 2 to about 9. The AFC is very, very top heavy. Those top 4 teams in the AFC, pretty damn good. The rest of them, all very, very beatable. Broncos, very beatable. Chargers, very beatable. Texans, very beatable. Jaguars, very, 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 very beatable. Going to the AFC could get you, if you are a 5th seed and you're playing the 4th seed Houston Texans, right? Or potentially the Jacksonville Jaguars. I like that matchup. I like it a lot. Because let's just be honest, the top 3 seeds are going to be the Baltimore Ravens, Buffalo Bills, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Throw them in any order that you want. Those are going to be the top 3 seeds. 4th seed is going to be whoever wins the AFC South, whether it's the Houston Texans or the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then coming in at 5th with Dak Prescott and potentially bringing back Amari Cooper to Cleveland, potentially bringing in Keenan Allen to Cleveland. They're a number 5 seed. I like a number 5 seed with that Cleveland Browns team taken up against the Jacksonville Jaguars or Houston Texans. I like it. That's a playoff win. And once you win one, hey, it's all about momentum, baby. All about momentum. And Jim says Dak cannot win in Cleveland too. Listen, Cleveland is going to be bad this season, right? Cleveland is going to be bad this season. So why not take a flyer? Why not give the Dallas Cowboys that 2nd round pick for a top 5 quarterback? Dak Prescott has no off the field issues. He is a little bit injury plagued, right? When he gets hurt bad. But when he's in there, 4,000-yard seasons, 36 touchdowns, not a very, very bad season, right? 13, 14 wins. Let's go, baby. I think the Cleveland Browns would get excited about the potential of being a 13-14 win team. Now, on the flip side, they could still be a 13-14 loss team. But hey, you can't get much worse than last season. You can only go up, right? You can only go up. And Jim also comes back and says, Miles got his bag. He will play the run worse than Parsons. And I disagree with that. Myles Garrett, whether you want to admit it or not, Myles Garrett is a top defensive end in the NFL. I think he's better than TJ Watt. I think he's better than the Bosa's twins. I think he's better than Daniil Hunter. He's better than whoever else you want to put out there. Myles Garrett is the man, the myth, the legend. He's definitely better than Aiden Hutchinson for all you Lions fans out there. Myles Garrett is going to earn that money. Myles Garrett signed this massive deal with the potential of Dak Prescott coming into town. He signed this deal because he thought in the back of his head that Dak Prescott was going to come into town and they legitimately have a shot at winning a lot of games. Otherwise, he would be in Dallas right now. Otherwise, he would be with the Washington Commanders or the Philadelphia Eagles. There would be a team out there paying him a lot of money. But he chose to stay in Cleveland because of this. And old man Rivers says, slow it down, Buck. Slow it down, baby. Says Dak is overhyped. How is Dak Prescott overhyped? Is it the 3,000-yard seasons or the 4,000-yard seasons? Is it the 22 touchdown seasons or the 37-yard or the 36 touchdown seasons? Dak Prescott puts up the numbers. Dak Prescott wins you football games in the regular season. when Dak Prescott has a proper team around him and proper smart coaching, he wins you football games. There are only 8 quarterbacks above him that have more playoff wins than him right now that are active in the NFL. Wrap that around your head. It is Mahomes, it's Josh Allen, it's Lamar, and then it's everybody else. Everybody else is tied with like 3 and 2 wins. How many playoff wins does Dak Prescott have? He has 2. Dak Prescott is 2 and 5 in the playoffs. 2 and 5 in the playoffs. You know who is not 2 and 5 in the playoffs? Deshaun Watson. He has 1 playoff win. You know who else has 2 wins in the playoffs? Baker Mayfield doesn't have 2 wins in the playoffs. You know who else doesn't have 2 wins in the playoffs? Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, Justin Fields. Do I need to go on? He's not bad. Stop it. Real McCoy's back in the chat today. What's up, Real McCoy? He says Dakota stats are padded. Cowboys are getting blown out and teams play Dak on soft defense. As that is true to an extent, if you put other players in there, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, all of those quarterbacks do the same thing as well, right? It is not Dak's or Dakota's fault that the defense shit the bed last season and they're playing from behind and he had to throw the ball 40, 50 times in a game. That's not his fault. But if you want to call that pat statting, what about Joe Burrow? We all thought Joe Burrow should have been MVP because he had 5,000 yards passing, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Talk about padding stats. When you're consistently getting blown out by 30, 40 points in a game, and then the defense starts to play, you know what, whatever. You can nickel and dime it, and then they score four touchdowns while the other team's still scoring 4 touchdowns. Like, that's pat statting. Like, come on. Like, it goes for everybody. And I really strongly dislike this argument that he stats pass, he does this, whatever. A lot of players do that. A lot of teams do that. It is all about money at the end of the day. And if you get your 4,000 yards, you get that extra $1 million. You get that extra $2 million, right? It is what it is. He's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Do not get it twisted. He's there. In no particular order, he is behind Josh Allen. He is behind Matthew Stafford. He is behind Jalen Hurts. He's behind Patrick Mahomes. And then it's Dak Prescott. Old Man River, so if Dak is number 6, they play Baltimore. Do we call it the Choke Bowl? That would be tough. Lamar Jackson versus Dak Prescott. Who is going to choke more in the playoffs? That would be tough, right? That would be tough. And honestly, it'll be a hell of a game to watch. A hell of a game to watch. The 7 quick 8 exits. The 7-8 quick exits. I mean, he has 2 playoff wins. So therefore, with 5 losses, he only has 3 first-round playoff exits. Only 3. That's not too shabby. That's not too shabby. Jim Powell.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Says it's like having a 69 Mustang GT 500 but never wins anything. I mean, that's clearly why you buy Dodge. Dodge is superior than Ford. Hell, Toyota Camry is superior than a 96 Mustang GT 500. Give me my Toyota Camry every day of the year, baby. But what do you guys think? Dak Prescott to Cleveland. Does it happen? Should it happen? Will it happen? To be determined. To be announced very, very shortly. But a signing that I was not very fond of, a signing that I was said, do not do it, New England. You do not want this guy after his old visit last week, and that is Stefon Diggs. And the Patriots have officially signed Stefon Diggs to a 3-year, $69 million deal. And they do expect him to be ready by week 1. Now, here on this show, guys, what was the last week when Stefon Diggs went to the New England Patriots and visited him, right? Now, he did not walk out with a contract offer after that visit, he went to a physical, and the physical showed him that he's not ready to play right now, but he's trending in the right direction. So the Patriots did offer them that 3-year, $69 million deal. When we first heard about this, Old Man River, Alpha Rob, Jim, hell, I remember even Junis was like saying, hey, Stefon Diggs is a cancer. Stefon Diggs is a cancer. There's a reason why the Minnesota Vikings traded him to the Buffalo Bills. There's a reason why the Buffalo Bills traded him to the Houston Texans. There's a reason why the Houston Texans took his 3-year deal, made it into 1-year deal, and he only played 8 games, and they kicked him to the curb. And there's a reason why no other team was jumping at the offer of Stefon Diggs beside the New England Patriots. It's because he is a cancer. Now, obviously, we are all on the outside looking in. We have no inside people to talk to. We have no inside sources. But the people that I trust in the NFL that talk about the NFL, and my eye test alone tells me that Stefon Diggs is very cancer-esque in the locker room. Now, let's be clear. Winning cures all, right? When you are winning, that cancer, you don't really worry about it. It kind of shuts itself up. There's a little bit of chemo treatment happening there, right? It is not growing, but it's not shrinking either. It's kind of just being stagnant right there. But once you lose in the playoffs, like the Buffalo Bills do, you see him whining, I want out, I want this, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But then the next season, you are winning, you are doing good. Yes, the cancer grew a little bit, but you're in the second round of the treatment. It's not growing, it's not shrinking, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Come playoff times, oh, you suck, whatever. Now it is bigger. Now is the problem. Now we need to cut that thing out and send it on down the road. Guys, the New England Patriots have had a pretty good offseason. They brought in their new head coach, Mike Vrabel. They have a second-year quarterback in Drake May. They have a pretty decent running back room with Stevens, Gibson, and Jennings, right? They signed Milton Williams, the defensive tackle. They signed defensive ends. They signed defensive tackles. They signed an offensive tackle. They signed Carlton Davis. They signed outside linebacker Robert Spillane. Right, Harold Landy, the edge rusher. They brought in Josh Dobbs. They brought in Buffalo Bills wide receiver Matt Collins from last season. Brought in Marcus Epps. They added a lot of players. And honestly, on paper, strictly paper, I don't even have a piece of paper because that's how useless paper is. But on paper, this wide receiver core for the New England Patriots looks pretty good. Stefon Diggs, Polk, Hollis, right? Who else do I have here? Like we have Bourne, we have Booty, right? We have Douglas. That wide receiver room looks pretty decent. Looks above average. Could be a top 10 wide receiving core room in the NFL on paper. However, Stefon Diggs is not 100%. However, Stefon Diggs may never be 100% again. He has proven to be a cancer. We just said it. He has been proven. Vikings, Buffalo Bills. We don't know if he was a cancer with the Houston Texans, but there's a reason why they took that 3-year deal, made it into a 1-year deal, and he's not with the team anymore. Now, when you look at those teams, the Vikings, the Buffalo Bills, even the Houston Texans, did they really have a coach with a backbone to stand up to Stefon Diggs? Now, you could say that the Houston Texans coach, what is his name right now, slipping my mind. You can say that he probably had a backbone, and that's why he kicked him to the curb. Mike Vrabel might be the coach that Stefon Diggs needs to cure that cancer. Mike Vrabel might be the backbone and the 10 grit sandpaper coach that Stefon Diggs needs to really elevate his play. But as of right now, 3 years, $69 million for a receiver that is a proven cancer, for a receiver that's not a 100% healthy, and for a team that, quite frankly, yes, you did make all of these moves. You're still in the AFC East. You are still probably 4th best at that team. Let's just be honest. This deal makes no sense. This deal to me is the flashy something that the Patriots fans wanted, but it is dumb, it is asinine, it is asinine. Stefon Diggs in 3 years is making more than Tom Brady did. I'm just going to put that out there. But what do you guys think? Stefon Diggs to the New England Patriots. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you kind of like, yeah, whatever? Try to be unbiased, Alpha Rob. I know you're a Buffalo Bills fan, and you know you want him there. You want to beat his ass, and the Patriots are just going to suck. But hey, be a little bit unbiased. Jim Powell says, Stefon Diggs is a bigger cancer than Cat Williams is to Hollywood. And that is tough, right? Because Cat Williams makes me laugh. Cat Williams makes me think things in a new perspective. Cat Williams is a guy that just speaks his mind and doesn't care what the consequences is. And that's probably what Stefon Diggs is. He speaks his mind and thinks about it later. He is a young Michael Buckheister. 25, 23, 22-year-old Michael Buckheister said what he want, didn't care of the consequences. I didn't care if I got suspended. I didn't care if I made your mama cry. I didn't care if I got kicked off the football team. I spoke it, and it is what it is. Now, growing up a little bit, you want to shut your mouth. You want to gather your thoughts. You want to listen. You want to soak in all the information, right? You want to see what is pending across the NFL and see what those thoughts are. Maybe this season made Stefon Diggs open his eyes. Maybe this season helped Stefon Diggs, like, hey, maybe, just maybe, that I'm not so great. Alpha Rob says, at this point, Diggs isn't a $60 million wide receiver, and he's not going to be ready till mid-season. Alpha Rob, the Patriots expect him to be ready by week 1. I did see a video of him working out, which he seemed to be probably 80%, right? We still have April, May, June, July, August, September. We still have 7 months until the NFL season, right? Still have a lot of rehab, still have a long ways to go. But since it did happen so early, he should be ready to go by week 1. However, we've seen players push it. Aaron Rodgers, we've seen players push it. Kirk Cousins, granted, those were Achilles, and they're 40-plus years old, but clearly they're not ready. I think Stefon Diggs is smart. He will get out there when he is ready. But yes, he is not a $69 million quarter or receiver right now. No. He has not proven a lot to me. Alpha Rob says, I guess the Pats wants his 20 yards in big games. That is Alpha Rob still being shady. That is Alpha Rob still being upset that Stefon Diggs hurt his fantasy team, his playoff team a couple years ago. 13 seconds, baby. 13 seconds. That's all I got to say about that right there. Mr. Jim Powell says, I changed my mind. He's more of a case of jock itch. Sometimes you don't feel cancer. Jock itch is always freaking irritating. Jim, I've never had jock itch. I've never had itchy balls. I've never had any type of rash, right? Now, with that being said, I better knock on some wood, and I'm probably going to go inside, and there will be some massive, poison ivy on the back of my legs or something, or poison oak, right? Because I was out in the yard working all day. But I have to disagree. Because when Stefon Diggs is winning, when Stefon Diggs is getting his catches and getting his yardage, he is one happy camper. But the minute you get 20 yards in a big playoff game, the minute you lose a big playoff game, the minute you lose 2, 3, 4 games in a row, then he starts to expose. He's like, oh, hello there. Stefon Diggs is like a pimple on pitcher day. You have clear skin all week long. Come Friday, bada bing, bada boom, he's there and he's irritating and you won't go away. And Alpha Rob says Diggs' mouth is bigger than his game. At least it was in Buffalo. Houston, granted he was injured in Houston, and Houston really wasn't doing great when he was there anyways. But yes, he definitely does have a big mouth and speaks his mind. Old man River
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
says Vrabel will mess him up. He was a linebacker. Old man River. Mike Vrabel was a very abrasive coach, right? He is like that sponge that has the green and yellow side, right? It has the abrasive side and a nice soft side. A great coach knows when to use the abrasive side and when to use the soft side. A great coach knows what players that he can push and what players that sometimes just need a hug. I think that's what makes me such a great high school coach is I understand those kids, right? I understand the kids that I can push. I understand the kids that sometimes just need a little pat on the butt. Say, hey man, you are doing all right. You're doing good. Now let's do this, and this. I don't know if Mike Vrabel needs to mess up Stefon Diggs. I don't think Stefon Diggs needs that tough love. I think Stefon Diggs is the type of player that needs that pat on the back. Hey man, you're doing okay. Even though he only had 20 yards versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Even though he had 15 drops in the last 3 seasons. Even though he has not broken 1,000 yards in 3 seasons, right? He just needs that pat. You just need that pat on the back and the encouragement and the lift up, saying, "Hey, you can do it. You can do it, man." I don't know. We'll see. Real McCoy says, next, you're going to tell me that Dak's part owner of the Browns. Maybe Dak can play for Brady and the Raiders. Real McCoy, facts or facts that Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback. Stop it. Old Man River says, we want Dak in Vegas. I understand it says don't, but he secretly wants Dak. Alpha Rob says, don't forget that Stefon Diggs dropped balls in big games. He does. He develops these stone hands. And like, hey, I'm open. Oh, shit.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Alpha Rob, do you remember 13 seconds? Should I give you guys 13 seconds of a silence to remember the great Kansas City Chiefs going down the field for 13 seconds to Travis Kelce to win the football game? Should we do that? I'm just playing, baby. I'm just playing. Next up, Russell Wilson. We cooking in New York, baby. Last night, we got on the show. The news broke, and we kind of spoke at it a little bit, but I've had time to really dissect and go on the old Twitter machine what the people are saying about the New York Football Giants signing the man, the myth, the legend, Russell freaking Wilson. Let's ride, baby. Let him cook, let him cook, let him cook. Guys, Russell Wilson has officially signed in with the New York Football Giants for a 1-year, $10.5 million deal. And it could be up to a $20 million deal with incentives and player packages. Now, when I jumped on Twitter, jumped on Facebook, jumped on the old Instagram, a little bit of Snapchat today, on the old social medias, Giants fans are very excited. Some of them are very confused. And some of them are like, what? Hey, at least you're talking about the Giants, but like, what? Guys, there's mass confusion, mass excitement, and mass just like, I don't know what to do with my hands in New York. Guys, was Russell Wilson to the New York Giants a good signing? Was it good for Russell Wilson? Was it good for the Giants? Was it good for the NFL? Now, this is the one thing that I saw repetitively out there on Twitter. If you guys are on Twitter, you guys can follow me at manhour_buck. But the one thing that I consistently saw on Twitter, pretty much about every third or fourth post, was that Russell Wilson is going to a better situation. They had Steelers' offensive line is greater than or is worse than the Giants' offensive line. Neighbors is better than Pickens. Tracy Jr. is better than Najee Harris. Theo Johnson is better than Pat Federmoth, is that how you say his name? And the Giants defense is better than the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. And I'm like, what? I mean, like, sometimes I'm off of my rocker a little bit. Sometimes I like to reach and read between the lines and throw that spaghetti at the wall. But Giants fans, you guys understand that you had the 28th ranked offensive line in 2024. Now, I'm not saying the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line was any better. They were the 25th offensive line, but they're still better. Now, to say that that Neighbors is better than George Pickens, slow it down, baby. A lot of you Giants fans are pretty twisted up in the head up there, right now. Neighbors is going to be a top 5 receiver in 2025. Listen, I love the optimism. I think he has the opportunity to be a great receiver. But to say right now that George Pickens is worse than Malik Neighbors, slow it down, baby. Slow it down. And now Tracy Jr. did come out strong in 2024. He had a nice, strong season. But to say that Najee Harris is worse than Tracy Jr., I would say they're probably neck and neck. Let's just call that a wash. Now, the only thing I do agree with you on this list is that Theo Johnson is better than Fat Fighter Moth. Can you say his name? Frieder Moth? Fire Moth? I don't know. I'm terrible with names. Welcome to Man Hour, guys, where I F up every name out there. But I told you guys last year in the draft that Theo Johnson was going to be a dog. Theo Johnson will be a top 5 tight end in the NFL. So I give you that one. But then the defense? Giants defense is better than the Steelers defense? What? What? Now, I do agree that the Giants defense is underrated. I do agree that the Giants defense is slept on. I do agree that the Giants defense does have a lot of bright spots on that team. Yes, I understand that they were on the field a lot last season. 5 to 10 minutes more than any other team in the NFL. They were on the field a lot last season, but they were still the 24th ranked defense. The Pittsburgh Steelers had a 12th ranked defense. They had a top 5 defense in the last 3-4 weeks of the season. So now Russell Wilson is not going to a better situation. Let's just nip that in the butt right here, right now. The New York Giants is not a better situation than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Stop it. Roster's not better. Coaching is certainly not better. And ownership is not better. Well, but Buck, the coaching at least trying to make moves this offseason, whatever. Guys, there's a power struggle in New York between the ownership and the general manager and the head coaching. Like, they don't know where they're going. Now, the only bright spot about this signing for the New York Giants is they do potentially have a starting quarterback for 2020 or 25, and they don't have to go out there and draft one. If Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward is not sitting there at number 3, they can get a Travis Hunter. They can get a Abdul Carter. They could potentially draft the offensive lineman from Ohio State, right? They have options. They have needs that need to be filled, and they have options. But to say that Russell Wilson makes the Giants better than the Steelers? What? What? You guys understand that Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston are both making $14.5 million together. You know how much we were paying Daniel Jones last season? $14 million. Do the Giants know what they're doing? Like, legitimately, let's sit down. Do the Giants know what they're doing? Would you rather have Russell Wilson or Daniel Jones? Would you rather have Jameis Winston or Daniel Jones? I say give me Daniel Jones over Russell Wilson, over Jameis Winston, over Tommy DeVito, over Aaron Rodgers, over a lot of people. Daniel Jones has a lot of upside. He just never had a team built around him. It is what it is. So what do you guys think? Do you like the signing of Russell Wilson to the New York Football Giants? Me? Yes and no. Can I waffle the answer? I like it because it does give them a quarterback options in 2025. So if they don't draft a guy, they still have a quarterback. I don't like it because the Giants are still going to be a bad team with Russell Wilson at the helm. You're in a lose-lose situation, Brian Daboll. Old Man River says, if you guys haven't heard, I hate the Kansas City Chiefs. If you haven't heard, I love the Las Vegas Raiders. And he says, screw the Chiefs.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Old Man River, I'm only letting you slide because you are a pigskin pundit. But there you go. Real McCoy says the Giants just don't want to win. And Real McCoy, like, this is where the Giants lose all credibility. This is where the Giants lose everything because the owner has basically told Brian Daboll and the general manager Schoen, right, that you have to win now. We have to get wins now or you are flat on your asses at the end of 2025. But at the same time, the ownership should be building for the future, should be drafting the best available player on the board, should be in this rebuild mode. So you're kind of like if you're Brian Daboll, what do you do? Right? Like what do you do? Do you try to make a splash in the draft, right? Move up and get Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward or jump back into the first round and get the fourth or fifth rated quarterback, whether it's Milroe or the kid from Louisville, what's that, Stroud, right? Get either one of those guys. But the Giants don't want to win, but Daboll wants to win because he has to win to keep his job. But the ownership wants to tank for Archie Manning. It is a cluster F up there in New York. Let's just be honest. Old Man River says for Wilson, it's a great signing, but not for the Giants or the fans. And Old Man River, I encourage you to go over to Twitter or to any of our NFC East Trash Talk groups over here at Facebook.com/man hour. You click on the groups. There's our NFC Trash Talk group. A lot of people, if you are New York Giants fans, love this signing of Russell Wilson. They think Russell Wilson is going to take them to the playoffs. And I want to say, pump your brakes. I want you to rewind 8-9 months, go back to June and July when the Pittsburgh Steelers fans were doing the same exact thing. And look what happened, right? It's tough. It's tough. Jim Powell says, is LT dead yet? He's rolling in his grave about this, or he's still alive. He's rolling over something. Wilson may get his office space back. That is tough. That's tough. To my device starts by week 7. What? Oh, Tommy DeVito starts by week 7. And Old Man River, you are absolutely wrong. Tommy DeVito will be the emergency quarterback if he's on the roster, right? Jameis Winston might start by week 7, week 8, but Tommy DeVito is not starting by week 7. Real McCoy says Russ better have 911 on speed dial. The 28th ranked offensive line, yeah, you better be ready to be taking some hits. You better be ready to get that ball out quick. Those moon balls aren't going to be there, Russ. Not going to happen, my man. Not going to happen. Ozman Wadan says, I'm actually scared that Dak Prescott to Cleveland because I'm actually watching Dak Prescott for my whole life, and he's a great quarterback. If you guys want to jump back, we can talk a little bit about Dak Prescott. Again, Hunter Millen says the Browns is trained for who? Dak Prescott, baby. Hayden for Dak Prescott. And Hunter says the Giants don't want to win. The ownership for New York doesn't want to win. Coaching, general manager wants to win. Right? I'm just saying. They have to win to keep their job. Hunter also comes in and like says, I don't get why no team wants Joe Milton. He can be a starter, bro. I'm not saying no team does not want Joe Milton. I am not saying that Joe Milton may not be a starter in the NFL. However, he is not better than Jackson Dart. He's not better than Shedeur Sanders. He's not better than Cam Ward. And those 3 quarterbacks will go in the top 10. And Joe Milton will be a second day, maybe potentially a third day quarterback. That's just the way it is. Because the teams outside of those top 10 don't need a quarterback. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers do, but they are not going to take Joe Milton in the first round when you can get him in the third round. There is no point to it. Osman says the Giants literally have the most entertaining quarterback I have ever seen. As in Jameis Winston? Jameis Winston is entertaining. He also throws a lot of pick sixes. He also throws a lot of interceptions. He also gives a lot of games away. He can be entertaining all you want, but damn it, the Giants want to win. The Giants want to win. It's simple as that. And with Russell Wilson signing with the New York Football Giants, this leaves Aaron Rodgers still as a free agent, and the list of teams start to narrow down. Right? There is potentially 3 teams out there for this Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes, right? The Minnesota Vikings, they kind of checked themselves out. Let's use that air quotes there. The New York Giants by default checked themselves out by signing Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson, and then Dak Prescott potentially going to the Cleveland Browns. That narrows it even more, and JJ is now getting a vote of confidence from the general manager in Minnesota, so he could be a starter there as well. So what does this mean for Aaron Rodgers moving forward? With the team starting to narrow down, there's really only one team out there right now that could really use the services of Aaron Rodgers and be a better team. Guys, teams are tired of this waiting game. Let's just be honest. There's a reason why the Giants didn't even interview him or bring him in, because they didn't want to be a part of this waiting game. They knew they had a shit or get off the pot time. Minnesota Vikings didn't want to play this game because they knew they were going to be in limbo, right? You want to give your rookie quarterback a vote of confidence. Cleveland Browns didn't even think about it because they're going to go get Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott's a hell of a lot better than Aaron Rodgers as of right now. Aaron Rodgers is at the point in time where he's a shit or get off the pot time. Cam Heyward said it best just a couple weeks ago. Shit or get off the top time. Here is my pitch. You want to be a Steeler or you don't. Teams are not interested in this waiting game. We are less than 30 days away from the NFL draft. Teams like the Steelers need a quarterback. They need a plan B. Yes, they would love to have Aaron Rodgers. You can say they potentially want Aaron Rodgers. You can say that Aaron Rodgers needs to come into Pittsburgh to give them a Super Bowl caliber chance. Yes, that is 100% correct. But with 30 days, less than 30 days till the NFL draft, the Steelers need a plan B. They're sitting at 21st overall in the first round pick. Are they going to try to move back? Are they going to try to move up to get a quarterback? What are they going to do? Because obviously Mason Rudolph is not the guy that they want as a starting quarterback. Now, they will be happily to play him. His rookie season in Pittsburgh, he did pretty well. The following 3 seasons, not so great. Not so great in Tennessee either. I don't know why he's back in Pittsburgh. I think it's just the luck of the draw at this particular point. We need a body to put in there. But this waiting game by Aaron Rodgers is getting old. There's one team out there that wants you, Aaron Rodgers. Now, the Minnesota Vikings might be making some massive ploy to bring in Aaron Rodgers, right? I've heard people talk about the New Orleans Saints would be a perfect place for Aaron Rodgers. I don't know why, but whatever, right? The Raiders got their quarterback, right? The Giants potentially have their quarterback. Browns will get their quarterback in Dak Prescott. The Vikings got their guy in JJ. The Tennessee Titans are going to be drafting potentially Cam Ward or moving back and drafting Shedeur Sanders or Jackson Dart, whoever. There is only one team out there that wants or needs Aaron Rodgers, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Aaron Rodgers should get out the pot time. It is simple as that. Guys, with Russ signing, with the GM in Minnesota giving JJ a vote of confidence now, saying that you will be our starter, Dak Prescott going to Cleveland, what does this mean for Aaron Rodgers moving forward? What do you guys think? Old Man Rivers says Rodgers is milking it, and he is on his way out. So Old Man River, he knows all about retirement. Old Man River's about 70 years old, and he is ready to retire. Old Man River wants a little bit of limelight as long as he can, just like Aaron Rodgers. Grab onto it to a little bit long until he glides off into the abyss. And Aaron Rodgers says he doesn't want a future in media. He doesn't once he's done with football, he's going to go to Australia or New Zealand and smoke his hoxawal or what the hell that shit's called. He says that, but the truth be told, Aaron Rodgers wants to feel wanted. Everybody wants to feel wanted, and right now, nobody really wants him. I mean, they want him, but they don't need him, right? He wants to feel needed, I should say. Osman said, Aaron Rodgers will go to the Vikings, and that is my prediction. And Osman, I do not disagree. We spoke about this yesterday when J.J. McCarthy says that the coaching staff, the ownership, the general manager has not said he is a starter yet. We were reading between the lines, and I said, hey, the reason why they're not naming you the starter yet is because something's working in the background. And it would not shock me one bit if we hear Aaron Rodgers going to the Minnesota Vikings. It would not shock me one bit if we hear Ryan Tannehill going to the Minnesota Vikings to compete for the starting position. It would not shock me one bit if the Minnesota Vikings trade J.J. McCarthy for 2 first-round draft picks to a team like the Tennessee Titans, to a team like the New York Giants, to a team like the New York Jets. It would not shock me one bit. Osman, we are on the same wavelength, my man. I think you are correct. And Real McCoy says Rodgers is going to wreck his own legacy. He's going to ride it till the wheels fall off. And Real McCoy, this shows you the power of a family. This shows you the power of having people in your corner as your support system, as your mom, dad, wife, brothers, sisters, whatever, kids, cousins, aunts, uncles, right? Aaron Rodgers, from what we've read and heard and watched on Enigma, right, that he ousted his family. Aaron Rodgers is all by himself. He is a loner. So legitimately, if you think about this logically, when you are a loner, all you have is work, right? You don't associate with people outside of work. You don't go to the bowling alley. You don't go to clubs. You don't go on dates, whatever. You are by yourself and you work. So of course he is going to try to ride this wave until the wheels fall off, because this is all he has, legitimately. I mean, he's going to be a 42-year-old man. Doesn't speak to his brother, doesn't speak to his mom, dad, aunts, uncles, cousins, whatever. Doesn't have a girlfriend. The last girlfriend, or the last 2 girlfriends that he has had, he's abused them verbally, not physically, but made them feel like crazy. Aaron Rodgers is all alone. Now, obviously, I'm not a part of his personal life by any stretch of the imagination, but everything that we see, everything that we've read, everything that we hear, he is all alone. Football is all he got. So yes, he is going to ride it till the wheels fall off. He has to. He has to. And this is why he is milking it out, right? Just like what Old Man River said, the Mr. Pigskin Pun himself.
Skin pun, get you some.
There's a reason why he's riding this out and milking it out, because football's all he's got. And that is tough. That is tough to think that all we got is one thing in our lives. And I've been in a bad situation. Like, I moved to here in southern Indiana. All I had was my girlfriend at the time, which is now my wife, right? I didn't have any friends. I worked and came home to her, and life was good, but it still didn't feel fulfilled, right? Aaron Rodgers needs some type of fulfillment, and that football is his fulfillment. Old Man River says the best fit for him is Minnesota, and I agree to an extent. AFC is loaded. NFC is pretty well balanced. But yeah, Minnesota is a very, very good fit for him. Hunter Mullins says Steelers can go get Jackson Dart. Except for Jackson Dart is going to go in the top 10 in the NFL draft. Jackson Dart, if he slides down to 10 or 11, then there will be a team jump up there trying to get him. Jackson Dart is quickly flying up those draft boards. He went from a mid-second tier pick to a late first round pick to scoutingreport.net has him as a number 7 overall pick. Jackson Dart is flying up the draft boards. The Pittsburgh Steelers can get him if they're willing to go up and get him. And that's not the Pittsburgh Steelers' MO. Alpha Rob says Dak goes to Cleveland. Rodgers goes goes to Dallas, that's a Jerry Jones move. Alpha Rob, I would say that is true if Shedeur Sanders wasn't in this year's draft. If Shedeur Sanders wasn't in this year's draft, I would 100% be on board with that. Jerry Jones wants the spotlight on Dallas. Jerry Jones is a master salesman. Sex sells. And Shedeur Sanders is sexy. Coach Prime is sexy. Brian Schottenheimer has a bad year. All of a sudden, we're talking about Coach Prime all offseason coming to the Cowboys. That's what Jerry Jones wants. He doesn't care about Super Bowls. He doesn't care about winning. He just cares about us talking about his team. That's what it comes down to. Now, I thought Aaron Rodgers could have went to the Dallas Cowboys a couple years ago. Hell, was it 2 years ago? 2023 NFL season, right when Man Hour started, the Rams were kind of going through this kind of weird phase, right? They're just coming off the Super Bowl. We don't know if we're rebuilding. We don't know if we're retooling. They're in a very limbo situation. Dak Prescott doesn't have a contract yet. Matthew Stafford wants a contract. And I was like, damn, Matthew Stafford to the Dallas Cowboys makes perfect sense. And Dak Prescott to the Rams would be excellent for both teams. It's a win. It's a win-win. And then Aaron Rodgers is flirting with going to the Jets, or I can't remember who was all on the radar, right? But the Packers were basically forcing him out, and I want to say the Jets and the Cowboys were in that thing, right? The remarriage of Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl baby, whatever, yada yada yada. But 3 years ago, yes, I would agree with that, but now probably not. Osmond says, to be honest with you, this is the weakest NFL quarterback draft right now, and you are right. Now, obviously, we do not know how they will pan out in the NFL, right? Obviously, that draft class with Josh Rosen and them, what's that? 2021, 2020? Can't remember. Maybe 2019 draft class. But when Josh Rosen went number 3 overall to the Arizona Cardinals, that draft class was pretty bad. But you are right. I said this last night, Osman, and we are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here on YouTube.com. Of course, Facebook.com. You guys can find us on the Believe Network as well, and Bally Sports as of April 15th on the old TVs up there in Milwaukee and Chicago. But I said Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders would be a 6-7 quarterbacks off of the board last year. This quarterback class just isn't very deep. That is not a jab at Cam Ward. That's not a jab at Shedeur Sanders or Jackson Dart or Milroe or the kid from Louisville, his name slipped on my mind, or that Will Howard. That is not a jab at them. It's just the facts are facts. The facts are facts that they are not blowing people's minds, right? Edge rushers and offensive linemen are blowing people's minds right now. Real McCoy says, I guess if it was good enough for Favre, it's good enough for Rodgers. Minnesota's, that is. And Real McCoy, history repeats itself, right? Every 15, 20 years, history repeats itself. When I was about 18, 19, I was visiting my grandma up in Michigan. She lived up there in Cowcastle, Michigan, up there by the UP, up there by Traverse City. Beautiful area. I love it up there. But I was helping her clean out the barns and whatnot. And she had clothes from the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s. I'm like, Grandma, why do you keep these clothes? She's like, let me show you something. So we walk over there, and she has a freaking Sears catalog, right? So back in the day, Sears used to send catalogs that were this freaking thick, right? Maybe it was JCPenney's, but it was Sears or JCPenney's. Either way, it was clothes, it was tools, it was sporting goods, whatever, yada, yada, yada. She opened up one from the 60s, right? We're looking at the clothes. I'm like, oh, I remember those clothes. Those are from the 90s, right? And she's like, I know. And then we opened up one from the 80s. The style clothes back in the 80s we're in style now, right? I was like, what? And she's like, this is why I don't throw away clothes. Everything comes back in style every 15 to 20 years. History repeats itself. It just history repeats itself, right? The Kansas City Chiefs are on top dogs right now. They are taking the Patriots spot. It's going to come full circle. It is what it is. Old Man River says true, but Favre took the Jets to the playoffs. He did not take the Jets to the playoffs, did he? Did he? Brett Favre, Jets. I do not remember Brett Favre taking the Jets to the playoffs. I remember him taking to the Minnesota Vikings to the playoffs and throwing a ball across his body and interception to end that game. But let's see here. He played with the Jets at 2008 and 2008. So only one season for New York. And he made the Pro Bowl in 2008. Click on it. Let's see here. The Jets were not going to give me the record, going to make me count it. So they won. So they were 1-0, 1-2, 2-2, 3-2. So wins they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wins. So they were 9-7. They were 9-7. And is not gonna. It doesn't tell me the playoffs, but I feel like in 2008 they did not make the playoffs. I mean, I could be wrong. Old Man River, you are definitely a lot more historian than like me. So they were third in the AFC East with 9-7 record. Offensive coordinator was Brian Schottenheimer. Defensive coordinator was Bob Sutton, and head coach was Eric Mangini. They did not make the playoffs. They did not make the playoffs. So Brett Favre did not take the Jets. If I am reading this correctly, they did not go to the playoffs. It's just showing me 17 games or 17 weeks, 16 games. So I'm not for sure on that. Osmond says, imagine Jordan Love went to the Jets and then to the Vikings. I mean, we have to wait, about 15 years for that to happen. But hey, it could happen. It could happen. It could happen. He says, I thought they were a wild card and they were one and done. So let's think about this, Old Man River. So in 2008, we only had 18 playoffs still, right? 2008 NFL playoffs. Let's Google it. I put playoffs. Playoffs. Let's see here. So in 2008 in the AFC, the number 1 seed was the Tennessee Titans. Number 2 seed was the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 3 was the Miami Dolphins. Number 4 was the San Diego Chargers. The 5th seed was the Colts. And the 6th seed was the Baltimore Ravens. On the NFC side, the number 1 seed was the Giants, and then was the Panthers, Minnesota Vikings, Arizona Cardinals, Atlanta Falcons, and the Philadelphia Eagles. And we had the Pittsburgh versus Arizona Super Bowl in Raymond James Studio, with the Pittsburgh Steelers winning that Super Bowl. So no Jets. No Jets. Osmond brings up a great question. He says the NFL should add an 8th seed in the playoffs. And Osmond, I agree with you that we should have 2 byes. The number 1 seed and the number 2 seed should both get byes. However, once you bring an 8th team in there, right, you are now allowing half of the NFL to make the playoffs. So therefore, you are allowing a lot of average teams to make the playoffs. By just adding the 7th team, which they did that in COVID, which I don't really remember why they did that exactly, but I thought it was just supposed to be a 1-2 year thing, but obviously now sex sells, whatever, right? But with that being said, they should not add an 8th team. Adding an 8th team would either A, bring back the 2 byes, or have no byes at all. And right now we have a dilemma, right? Of like, should a team below 500 make it into the playoffs? And I feel with the 8 team playoff on the AFC side and NFC side, that we are going to have 1, if not 2 teams with the below 500 record make it into the playoffs each and every season. Now, obviously, we get more games. Obviously, we get more teams in there. Obviously, we'll get more eyeballs on there. But I think 7 is not terrible. I'm not a huge fan of the Monday night game and during the playoffs. I think 6 was perfect. You have the 4 division winners and 2 wild cards. I think that was perfect. Top 2 teams get the buys. I think that was perfect. 24 says, LOL, Dak ain't going. That Dak shit ain't happening. It is happening. From a very, very reliable source, equipment manager himself said it's happening. So, 24, it's happening. It's happening, baby. But guys, this offseason has been crazy. This offseason has been pretty damn good. And there's one team in particular that has had the best offseason thus far. And that team is the one and only the Detroit Lions. Now, we're talking strictly player-wise. We're not talking coaching moves. We're not talking this or that. We are strictly talking player-wise, and the Detroit Lions have had the best off-season to date so far. They picked up Derek Burns, linebacker. They re-signed DJ Reed. Levi is back on there. Marcus Davenport is back as the edge rusher. Roy Lopez is in there as well. The things that I loved about the Detroit Lions this offseason, obviously losing Aaron Glenn and Brent Johnson sucks. That absolutely sucks. Losing the whole coaching staff sucks, right? But I loved their retentions. I love that the Detroit Lions' lone big ticket free agent addition was DJ Reed, who replaces the outgoing Carlton Davis III, and it's about roughly a $4 million discount. And I think DJ Reader is better than Carlton Davis III. That is a solid swap in my eyes. Otherwise, they kept Burns on a cheap deal relative to other outside linebackers. They that pass rush and the defense of tackling is freaking amazing, right? And they also re-signed offensive tackle Dan Skipper as well. He is back. And wide out Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick made some noise, a fan favorite. He is back as well. Sometimes Super Bowl contenders unnecessarily shuffle the deck, a.k.a. the Buffalo Bills, a.k.a. the Baltimore Ravens, right? The Lions were wise and they kept the band together. They are continuing to trust the process, and I feel that the Detroit Lions guys have had the best offseason so far this free agency. So who do you guys think? Who do you think had the best NFL off season? Let's move on. All right, guys. So it is time for some cold, hard facts. Every Wednesday, guys, I scour the old interwebs. I see what the people are talking about. I see what the people are saying. And I'm going to give you the cold, hard facts. Cold, hard facts number 1. Guys, the Philadelphia Eagles are projected to get 11.5 wins in 2025. The Philadelphia Eagles also lost a lot of players on the defensive side of the ball in 2025 offseason. Now, they do have a lot of draft picks. They can rebuild, they can re-depthify that team. But 11.5 wins after a Super Bowl is a lot of wins. Of course, they play the Dallas Cowboys twice. Of course, they play the Washington Commanders twice. And of course, they play the New York Giants twice. But on top of that, they play the Bears. They play the Lions. They play the Broncos, Rams, Raiders, Buccaneers, Packers, the Kansas City Chiefs, the LA Chargers, the Vikings, and the Bills. That is a tough schedule. Now, I do think that they will split with the Dallas Cowboys. I do think that they will sweep the Giants. So there's three wins. And I do think that they'll split with the Commanders as well. So there are 4 wins. So we're looking at 9 wins. Where can they get those 9 wins from? The Bears, much improved team. The Lions are a pretty damn good team. The Broncos are up and coming. Kind of shocked a lot of people last season. Will they come back down to reality? To be determined. Rams, to me, are NFC Super Bowl favorites. The Raiders are still the Raiders. 4-win team from last year. I told you so. Tampa Bay Buccaneers got some holes on defense to fill, but they will still be competitive. The Packers will be competitive. The Chiefs will be competitive. The Chargers should be a win. The Vikings and Bills will all be competitive. Guys, the cold hard facts are that the Philadelphia Eagles are not getting 11.5 wins in 2025. The cold hard facts are that they are 11-10 win team. That's still no slouch. That's still a great season. That's still probably good enough to win the NFC East. Let's just be flat out honest. But their puzzle schedule is tough, baby. It's tough. Playing the NFC North alone, the Bears, the Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings, that is tough. Then you add the AFC West in there, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Raiders, the Broncos. That's tough too. They really have no easy games this year besides maybe the Raiders. The Raiders are still going to be pretty damn good. And I believe that is a home game for the Philadelphia Eagles, so there's a little bit added in there. But cold hard facts number one, guys, the Philadelphia Eagles will not get 11.5 wins in 2025. Cold hard facts number two, the New England Patriots. They are projected to get 7.5 wins this season. Now, they have had a great offseason. If there's a 1A, 1B in the best offseason, the Patriots and Lions would be 1A, 1B. They've had a pretty damn good offseason. Adding Mike Vrabel, second year Drake May, whatever, right? But their schedule, just like the Eagles, is not easy. They play the Browns, Falcons, Giants, Panthers, Steelers, Raiders, Bengals, Buccaneers, Saints, Ravens, and Titans. Yes, they got some easy wins in there, the Titans and the Raiders and the Falcons, right? The Browns. But still, the Patriots season all holds on what ifs. The whole New England Patriots season banks off of what ifs. What if Drake May grows in 2025? What if Stefon Diggs is 100%? What if Mike Vrabel can shape this defense into a top 10 defense? The Patriots are improved, but they're not an 8-win team. They're below 500 team, guys. Cold hard facts are that they will not get 7.5 wins in 2025. Now, the last cold hard facts of the day, the New York Football Giants. They have made some two huge signings, two franchise-defining potential signings in Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson, totaling their deals of $14.5 million. Nope, they're paying Daniel Jones $14 million to play this season, but he's not there. But the projected win total for the New York Giants is 4.5 wins this season. Just like the Patriots, just like the Eagles, they don't got an easy schedule either. They play the NFC North. Packers, Vikings. They play the Chiefs, Chargers, 49ers, the Bears, the Broncos, the Lions, the Raiders, the Saints. Oh my! And let's not forget the Patriots. Guys, the Giants are a much improved team. They are young. They are hungry. But 4.5 wins is not going to happen with Russell Wilson at the helm. Cold hard facts, guys, that the Giants are not a 5-win team. They are 4-win and below. Those are the cold hard facts. Alrighty, guys. So what do you guys think of those cold hard facts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Philadelphia Eagles, 11.5 wins. Agree? Disagree? The Patriots, 7.5 wins, over, under. The Giants, 4.5 wins, over, under. Old man Rivers says, Buck, slow it down, baby. Slow it down, baby. The Patriots are going to get 6 wins this season. So we agree. We agree, old man Rivers, but this is where we disagree. He says the Giants will get 6 wins. Let's look at the Giants. Where are they going to get those 6 wins? Are they going to get a win from the Dallas Cowboys? Probably not. Are they going to get a win? Are they going to get a win from the Eagles? Probably. Let's call that one. They might slip with the Commanders. So let's just say they split with the NFC East. There's 3 wins. Are they beating the Packers? No. Are they beating the Vikings? No. Are they beating the Chiefs? No. Are they beating the Chargers? Probably not. Are they beating the 49ers? No. Are they beating the Bears? No. Are they beating the Broncos? I hope so, because F Mark, right? There's your four wins. Are they beating the Lions? No. Are they beating your Raiders at Allegiant Stadium, I might add? No. Saints? No. They beating the Patriots? Maybe, but no. I see 4 wins for the Giants. Where do you get your 6? Are they beating the Chiefs? Are they beating the Bears? Are they beating the Patriots? Are they beating the Raiders? Where are your 2 extra wins? Where are your 6 wins for the Giants? Like, I just don't see it. Especially with Jameis Winston and or Russell Wilson starting quarterback. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. But guys, it's time for a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap. Fact or crap, guys, is very, very simple. We scour the old interwebs, I see what the people are talking about, and we determine if it is indeed a fact or if it is a crap. Let's start with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Keenan freaking Allen. Guys, Keenan Allen still remains a free agent this offseason after an average year for him in Chicago. He had about 750 yards receiving. That's the average season for Keenan Allen. Now, it has been rumored that he is going back to LA to join the Chargers, might re-sign with the Chicago Bears, which he hasn't yet, or he might even make a wild card team in the Las Vegas Raiders this offseason. Guys, all signs points that he is going to go to the Las Vegas Raiders. So the question is simple, fact or crap? Does Keenan Allen make the Las Vegas Raiders a playoff team? Guys, the Raiders need a receiver. It's simple, point blank as that. They need a receiver, whether it's Amari Cooper, whether it's Keenan Allen, whether it's whoever else is out there. They need some receiver help. Jacoby Myers came on late last season after Devontae Adams left. Jacoby Myers became the man, the myth, legend, and he definitely stepped up and fulfilled that number 1 overall role. Brock Bowers also played out of his mind in 2020-24. However, Brock Bowers is going to will start to get the Travis Kelce treatment, meaning double teamed a tight end, which sounds crazy, but it is going to happen. Now, this offseason, the Raiders defense, which has been their heart and soul, everybody's banking that the Las Vegas Raiders have a top 10 defense the last 3 weeks of the season. Stop, that's just silly. But their defense has kind of been plucked. Yes, you still have Jack Jones. Yes, you still have Max Crosby. Yes, you still have Wilkins, which should be 100%. But that linebacking core and that secondary has kind of been picked bare. The offensive line isn't very good. They're ranked 20th overall and from 2024. And Geno Smith in his new old system with Pete Carroll, but he's still getting older. He's still getting a little long in the tooth. He's still 35 years old. Now, I do think Keenan Allen is a very, very good receiver. I do think Keenan Allen can put a playoff team into a championship caliber team. I think Keenan Allen can take a championship caliber team and put them into the Super Bowl. But that is not where the Las Vegas Raiders are. Guys, this is crap. Keenan Allen does not make the Las Vegas Raiders a playoff team. The Las Vegas Raiders are far, far away from the playoffs. You can say what you want. Yes, they have made great moves. They hired a great coach in Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is a proven winner. Geno Smith, the last 3 seasons, has won a lot of games in Seattle. But they still have a lot of holes to fill. They still have a lot of places to fill. They still need to rebuild that defense. They need a receiver core. They need to add depth in the running back. They need to fix the offensive line. Adding Keenan Allen does not make or break the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, it would be great for the Chargers. It would be great for the Houston Texans. It would be great for a team like the Buffalo Bills, maybe even the Chicago Bears, but not the Las Vegas Raiders. So, guys, fact or crap, does Keenan Allen make the Las Vegas Raiders a playoff team? I am saying crap. So what do you guys think? Old Man River is saying crap. He is saying 100% crap. Keenan Allen does not make his Las Vegas Raiders a playoff team. He is saying the Las Vegas Raiders are a playoff team without Keenan Allen. Slow it down, baby. RP Production says, how many wins do I have the Patriots? I don't know. I do not know, but it will not be over 7.5. RPG Production. We'll break that down in August or June or July. And Real McCoy says that's just nonsense. Keenan Allen to the Raiders, playoff Raiders, that's just nonsense, baby. That is crazy. All righty, guys. So that is going to be it for today. Full 90-minute show as normal right here on Man Hour NFL Talk, guys. We'll be back tomorrow, live, raw, uncut at 9 p.m. East Coast time. Until then, we out.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man Hour NFL Talk. I know that you're ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's in the lead? I'm checking the score. We about to do it like never before. NFL live, uncut, raw. This is Man Hour NFL Talk. Let's go.